Hello and welcome to Celebrity Bit on the Snide, which is this week presented by me, Lindsay, and my co-host, Michael Barrymore. Hello.
Hi.
How are you tonight, James?
Fine, thanks.
Are you looking forward to going through a week's events?
Oh, yes.
It's like a whole month of normal Big Brother because CBB goes fast. So let's start with something pertinent. Claire leaving the house.
Claire?
The only thing I wanted to say about that was, did you notice Dee stole her fags and she said she would have wanted the boys to have them?
Typical. That is typical degenerate behaviour, isn't it?
Anyway.
But I heard she had, not Ebola, what's the other one?
What? MRSA?
Yeah, that's it.
Did she get it off Gary?
Yeah.
No.
Because he wasn't wiping the toilet seat.
What? But she's been on Emmerdale Farm for years. They've got swine flu and everything down there. Come on. Anyway, let's not spend precious oxygen on her. Now, Frenchy, she also left.
Yeah.
Too soon?
Yeah, way too soon.
Way too soon. Just before she left, she did the ice bucket challenge. Did you enjoy her getting her boobs out for that?
The ice bucket challenge?
Yeah.
Wasn't there no ice in it or something?
Oh yeah, it just all seemed to be water. Wasn't that Julie Chen's one?
I don't know.
I've seen too many ice bucket challenges, I don't know what's what.
Some of them are dubious. It's more like a smoothie.
Now, Big Brother said they would give £1,000 to charity, but they didn't specify which charity. It's probably like the John de Mol Memorial Fund.
We were going to say something about John Tickle.
It's going to go to the contestants of Utopia, keep them in, I don't know, whiskey or something. Anyway, I've just written some really random things that are quite old. Do you want to hear them?
Yes.
Gary and James formed a tickle team, and Gary said to Stephanie, "Are you very ticklish in the groin?" Were you offended by that?
Was I offended by it? No, I wasn't offended.
Okay, that's good.
Was anybody else?
No one gave a shit. And then just before Frenchy went, she said to Audley, "Watch out for James and George. They're in an alliance against you." And do you know what? She was right. So Frenchy went out saying, "Fuck you bitches," and "shut the fuck up" to the crowd. And she didn't really say much of interest in her eviction interview, but on bots she said she did things with Lauren, but she likes cock 90% of the time. How much percentage of the time do you like cock, James?
90%.
90% herself? Fucking hell, shit. Oh dear. Why did they never show Frenchy getting off of Lauren?
Well, either because it didn't, I don't know, maybe it wasn't within Towies' remit.
Pixar, it didn't happen.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
Now, there was a good task a while back. I don't know if you remember it. It was when they went in a room and had to do counting. Did you like that?
That was years ago.
I won't dwell on that. I know, that's how long ago we ain't done this. Alright, I'll move along. Audley said, "I've smoked weed. I've even tried cocaine." Oof, that's a dangerous message to be sending to kids, isn't it?
Is it?
I was listening to Sister Speak the other day and they said, "Don't do drugs." Do you adhere to that message?
What are you asking my opinion
They said
for?
you'll end up like Gary Busey if you do drugs. What's your experience been?
You probably will end up like Gary Busey.
You probably will. But we say do drugs at Big Brother Bile, but we won't specify which ones. Now, I'm trying to skip some of this. Oh, they did face-to-face noms. Adele got the vote for missing her children. Is that a valid reason for nominating someone?
Yes.
It's just a cop-out, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's a commonly used one.
It is. Now, George said about Gary, "If I was doing his electrics, I would look after him, but I'm not looking after him in the Big Brother house." Does that make sense?
None whatsoever, really.
You're on telly.
Apart from there's other people there to do it
now,
for you.
Hold on. No, I'm talking. I must stop you there. Stop interrupting me.
Do you know, I can't have this conversation with you.
What? Stop being rude. You're being extremely rude. And then you just left not even knowing what you were talking about.
Yeah.
Audley started to stick up for Gary a bit because he said he's old and set in his ways like his granddad.
You think Audley's playing the Gary card?
I think Audley sees what's going on. He's a bit smarter than the rest, and I think Gary bugs Audley as well, but Audley knows better than to join in the tittle-tattle, don't you think?
Yeah.
And then Dee and Lauren were out in the garden talking about Gary when he sat right next to them.
Oh.
What do you think about that?
Well, on Big Brother, you're supposed to like say to your face, right? Mm-hmm. But to do that with Gary, you need to like lean right up.
Yeah, and then you still get mad. What?
He'll honk at you.
What? But they're like, oh, has he eaten today? Oh, I don't know. Oh, he's look, he's looking at your sandwich. Oh, should I make him a sandwich? Yeah, get off your fucking arse and make him a sandwich, you nasty cow. You ain't got nothing better to do in there. And then they're like, Gary, do you want something to eat? He's like, no, I'm alright. Probably sat there, couldn't hear it all. Probably not even deaf.
Seems that way.
And I thought you'd enjoy that when they were waiting to find out who'd been evicted, Gary was drinking tea. You'd enjoy that. You like it when people eat or drink when they're waiting to find out results, don't you?
No, you shouldn't be allowed to eat or drink during that process. Completely.
Ban it from the diarrhea room as well.
Yeah, ban it from everywhere.
Mm-hmm. So they did another shit-stir task. You'll get confused there because there's been so many. This was the one where they had to fill in a survey and anonymously slag each other off.
That one.
What would you have written and to whom?
What was it? You just had to... just why they're...
Yeah, it's like, yeah.
Why they're a cunt.
Yeah. It was when James wrote to Lauren, oh, you got your boob out by mistake or whatever, and Gary wrote to Dee that she was in a world of anger. But he didn't admit to it.
It was pretty obvious who wrote it though.
But James wrote one that said, I thought it was really brilliant when James said this, as if George had written it and then didn't say nothing.
And it was Audley.
Yeah.
And Audley accused George.
Yeah, he was like, I know you said it, George. And James had written it. That was actually quite funny. James, as much as arsehole as he is good entertainment. And he is the Brad Pitt of Strictly. Yeah, then so James didn't admit to what he said to Lauren, and then she was crying. And then he went outside. Oh, it's like, oh yeah, I admit it. I said it. Blah blah blah. Whatever. Then Stephanie got evicted. What do you think about that?
Well, she wasn't really doing much, was she?
Germaphobe.
Yeah.
Hashtag germaphobe.
Do you think it's the germs that did her in?
What do you think Spencer said to her when he spoke to her on the phone? You've let down the family.
No, they get the same money anyway, don't they? So
yeah, so. Oh yeah, and Stephanie's best bits, they showed her a bit of when she was screaming at Gary with her veins popping out of her neck, and she said, we're sick of seeing your cock and balls. I don't remember them ever showing that bit before, do you?
No, but we've seen, what, about the cock and balls?
Yeah, but that was later on. She weren't even in the outfit and that happened. But isn't that weird? And that whole diatribe, and we'd never seen that bit. I wonder what other bits are on the cutting room floor.
Well, I mean, they just show 42 minutes, but well, Geordie Shaw said there's 24 hours in a day apparently, but
what does he know? And next out was Kellie. Were you sad to see Kellie go?
No.
Okay. I've got a couple of things to say about that. One, I thought she had a classy goodbye. I like the way James said to her, you look amazing. Then Audley ran up and gave her a little awkward cuddle again. I thought that was quite sweet. And then when she came out, what do you think? Did she just like sort of do a bow to the crowd, or did she actually fall over?
No, you saw it from both angles in the end.
Did
she got down on her knees and she kissed the floor.
Oh, so she didn't. I didn't think she'd fell over anyway.
I wouldn't come out of Big Brother and think, oh, Barrymore, let me eat the ground.
I eat the soil.
Exactly. Like it doesn't seem right, does it?
Well, in that case, you fell over. Anything to say about Kellie's interview?
No, not really. It just seemed like Kellie talking and like going on, and Emma like not being able to like rein her in like in any way whatsoever.
I'm doing it for the transsexuals. Yeah, Nadia did that like 10 years ago. Don't worry about it. We got it covered. I did like it when she said, I went into the house drunk. That was about it. So then on Saturday night, we had Gary as house counsellor. Did you like that?
Yeah, that was a wicked task.
Yeah, it was funny. Why was he shouting?
It was the last lot to go. It was James,
Kellie, James, and Audley. Yeah. Were they arguing though or something? And he shouted at him.
No, it was James. I think James started it, and then Gary had to shut it down very loudly.
This was when I was at my mum's. My mum was pissed, so I was having to like look after her, so I was a bit distracted. But I did write down PAST. Can you remember what that stood for?
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Alright, what is it?
Preoccupation about spent time. That actually makes sense. Gary said to James, "Do you see yourself as an emotional enforcement sheriff?" Which I quite liked. And then when Dee was getting psychoanalyzed by him, she was proper sat there like arms folded, like giving him proper stink eye. My mum was like, "What's her problem?" She didn't know anything about it, and my mum deduced that. So think on. And then James went in the diary room and he's all being pissy, going, "Why am I being psychoanalysed by a man who needs psychoanalysing himself? Like, I am a good person. I give money to charity." What the hell was that all about? I don't know why James was so upset. Do you?
I don't know. Is he a real person?
Is James a good person?
No, is he a person? I'm asking.
What, he's just a character?
Is he human?
Or is he dancer?
No. Like, I don't.
What are you insinuating? CGI?
Yeah, like I don't.
Computer graphic or?
Do you think he really carries on like that at home?
He must do, but then his wife was like, "I really miss you."
She said, "Oh, you're acting just like you do,
yeah.
do at home."
15 years of this bullshit she's had to put up with.
Every day a new drama.
Fucking hell. But I think he was doubting if he was a good person. He's like, "Yeah, I give money to charity. I'm a good." Anytime anyone has to state they're a good person, guaranteed psycho killer. That's what I say. And he also said, "I thought I didn't care about what people think, but when I got them booze, I started to worry about what people think."
He's an arsehole. I can't stand him, but I quite like the way he plays the game. There are likeable things about him.
He's just a wind-up merchant. But I like him more than I like George.
Yeah.
Do you?
They're quite different. They're quite different sort of people.
George is like a wind-up merchant too, but George is more cowardly. George is like hiding behind James, don't you think?
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah.
To an extent. But James is too up in people's faces.
Yeah, he's too brusque. George said to Lauren, "I've got a small willy, but I've had no complaints."
That was when he was in bed with Towie and Bewitched.
Yeah. Oh, he's like Hugh Hefner.
His mum and dad must have been so proud.
There must have been a goggle box.
They should get the mum in when they do that. Remember when time stopped?
When time stopped, what? Oh yeah, when they do freeze and Jack and Joe went, "Oh, we're being funny, mum."
Yeah.
And George can say it to his mum, "Oh, am I coming over well, mum? Am I doing you proud?" Proud of you.
Exactly, that's exactly what she would say.
Oh yeah, and Gary said, "I love the Brits" in the diary room, and he said he noticed that the others weren't happy when he got saved. Oh, sad.
Boo woo.
This was another good task, the call centre task. Did you enjoy that?
It was good. It was good.
Shall I ring up and slag you off?
No.
Yeah, James, why'd you just at the pan shop?
But, I mean, some were harsher than others. I thought like some people did have it a bit easy. George seemed to get it a bit easy. Yeah. I seem to remember, but
do you know who's put on most blast?
Well, it's either Dee or Ricky, isn't it?
Ricky was put on full blast.
But it's not just that. It's just the fact that he couldn't handle it. He couldn't defend himself either.
He just went red. He went like bright red. He was proper fuming. He's like, yeah, I'll take that on board. It was just like, oh please. What did they say to him? You're boring. I've lost it. Oh yeah, boring, you're dull, showmance. Dee got told she dresses out of Poundland. Can you even get like a full outfit from Poundland? You can get socks, gloves maybe. Underwear I think you could get. I don't think they do tops or anything. We'll see if Dee's eviction outfit is from Poundland, yeah? And then Dee's response to that was, "I ain't Beyonce." Are you ready for that, Jelly?
No.
No, I'm not. Oh yeah, and then James got called out for saying he was the Brad Pitt of dancing and denied saying it. They should just play it over like the video thing over on a loop for just him saying it. Don't you think?
Well, he knows it now, doesn't he? So
he knows. He's just pretending. Bewitched got told she was boring. How did she counteract this? Do you remember?
Oh, did she play the mum card?
No. She decided to do a Skylar. Walk into the pool. Did that make her more interesting for you?
But did you notice Audley, who also got called boring?
Did he get in the pool?
Jumps in the pool as well.
Ah, now they're fun time.
It's the double Skylar strategy.
Come on, you bastards!
But they were saying, Ricky, you got called boring. You come get in the pool, but he wouldn't have it.
He wouldn't get in the pool. Probably worried about his hair getting wet or something.
No. See where he should have jumped in that pool. Would have helped his game a bit.
Pond life. And then Bewitched came out and hugged Gary, and he said, "I just got hugged by a beautiful wet woman." Anyway, Dee's not bothered about those comments. Even hours later, she's not bothered about those comments.
Not bothered.
No, not at all bothered.
How many times did she say she was not bothered?
Several. She's like, oh, just because I don't dress like from posh places, like Georgia Asda.
That is rude.
She deserves it. Fuck her.
That is...
No, I never make fun of someone for being poor, but when you're her, I'll make fun of her. In fact, I'll do worse than make fun of her. I'll put her on full blast.
When she was going, oh, it's like a class... They're trying to make a class issue. I thought, oh, fucking hell, playing that card.
Ain't no class issue.
What an old cunt. And do you see... You never see her without a cup of tea in her hand. She's either shoving
or
tea...
a fag.
She's either shoving tea at someone, drinking it herself, or like... It's her... I hate this tea strategy.
I wish she'd just wear some clothes with some fucking sleeves on. There's a point when you get too fat to wear sleeveless clothes. I've passed it. You can be sure as hell she's fucking passed it. Put some long sleeves on so I don't have to look at your corned beef arms. Thanks very much.
Especially if you're on the TV and like Geordie Shore's going to dry hump you on the outdoor sofa, then you want to be looking your best, don't you?
I think Dee fancies him, don't you? The way she goes on about him, like, oh my little Ricky, oh who dares nominate my Ricky? Shut up, bitch. And then this is when Lauren went mental. So she. What? I'm getting told off. She told Ricky to man up about the comments he got in the call centre, and she said, "I need a man who can control me. My ex-boyfriend's a gangster. He's an armed robber." What do you think about that?
I thought it seemed like she had that story like ready cooked, like ready to go,
yeah.
And that it's something like like the Ted of Towie or whoever's in charge, her handler, told her like
Thomas.
Look, she probably had a cue card for that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me, yeah.
Who would you rather go out with, an armed robber or Ricky?
The armed robber, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. And then she started going on about how she had a bigger media presence than George, and she said to the whole house, "You got nothing to lose, and I have." I thought it was quite funny when she said that.
She's just like non-stop cringe.
That James was like, "I've got stuff to lose. I've been on Strictly." You've lost it, mate. Don't worry about it. And then she starts going, "I'm a young gal." She's 28. At what age do you stop being a young girl? I think at least like 21. She's well past being a young girl. Don't even worry about it. And Gary said, "The reason I'm nominated so much is because the other housemates fear me winning."
Any acronym for fear?
We'll think of that one.
What? False evidence appearing real?
Is that one of Ian Brown's? Or Ian Brown's got a whole song with him.
Oh, is it?
He? Fantastic Expectations. It's like Ash is back, isn't it? Absolutely fantastic. I can't do that. We've been working on our impressions, actually. You've just about perfected your Leslie now, haven't you? Which is good. Go on.
No, but the thing is, you get the impression and then they get evicted.
Yeah.
So you've got to stop this. But okay, Leslie is like, well, what we've got so far? Get the fuck out.
You stinking French. Oh no, you gotta go. You gotta go. I can't do it. I can't do it. We're just as soon as someone's evicted, we'll perfect our impression of them. My Donnie still good to go. Anyway, arsegate. Discuss. Yeah, arsegate.
Cock and balls gate. So, do you want to set the scene?
No, you set it.
Wasn't Dee making something to eat? Or?
I hope so.
It was definitely near the kitchen area, but not in the kitchen.
It was near enough.
But anyway, he pulled down his trousers and pants, sat down on like a
stool.
And started to like grope his knee. He was trying to. What was he trying to do?
His knee had popped out. He was trying to put it back in again.
And then Dee was basically like, "Can someone sort it out?"
I know. And James has literally just stood there like his jaw was on the.
But what? Why did Dee like put it on everyone else
I know.
to sort it out for her? I couldn't understand that.
Also, why are you talking about Gary like he's not even there? Like he's a freaking spill on the side of the kitchen. Fucking rude cow.
But do you think it's bad to get your naked ass out on TV and sit down?
I was thinking if I was in there, I think I'd just like laugh or I'd just run away. I wouldn't get so angry about it.
No,
you know what I mean?
exactly.
I understand like, oh, he's sitting on that stool. That is disgusting. Like you'd want to give that a wipe afterwards, definitely. But I don't see why you get so angry about it. And then James is going, if my wife was in here, she'd be so offended. Your wife isn't in there, James, so get over it.
But they do need an extra person because Emmerdale's gone.
It's a bit late now.
Well, no, it's how in some of the tasks the numbers don't add up anymore.
Oh, the letters?
Yeah, exactly. So
Towies only count as one housemate, so don't worry about it.
I suppose so.
Gary was just so nonplussed by the whole thing, wasn't he? Then he went to the diary room and Big Brother... Did they give him a warning or just a stern talking to Gary about his arse? They said to him, you should have asked for assistance.
They keep saying, do you understand why people might take offence at...
you not having any pants on and getting your butt. But then Big Brother said you should ask for assistance, but Dee and George have both explicitly stated they will not help Gary. They've said, we will not help him under any circumstances. We're not in here to be his carer. So how can he ask for assistance when people have explicitly said they won't help him?
Because maybe they changed their minds or some other people
No,
will.
they didn't change their minds. They're a pair of absolute wankers.
But isn't Dee trying to make out she's helping him now?
Yes, since she got a warning and they didn't even tell us about it. No
Is that
doubt.
true?
I don't know, but hold on.
Did you just make it up or?
No, but that's like general consensus, basically. Anyway, we're coming on to that. Don't get ahead of yourself.
Right.
And then Gary sat down with Adele and explained the story to her, and he went, "C'est la vie." Did you notice that?
No.
Yeah, he did. That's what he said. I was just like, oh my god. Anyway, the upshot of nominations was everybody in the house was up. Woo!
Now, do you think I smell Ted's hand on that?
Oh yeah, why?
Because they
Everyone
must
got nominated.
exactly,
though.
but they must have said to someone, look, if you just nominate this one person, we just want everyone to be up this week. I just felt like a couple of those votes seemed a little bit not too heartfelt.
Audley was the only one who nominated Dee.
Good job he did then.
And Audley nominated George for not being enough of a celebrity. What do you think about that?
I thought that was really bad gameplay.
Why?
Because just to talk like that on Big Brother,
Yeah,
maybe
snobby, isn't
but
it?
maybe on the celebrity version is different. But
Yeah.
I still think it's like a bit of a wolfie, isn't it?
I have heard celebs say stuff like that before, though. There is a pecking order.
Yeah, there is, but if you're good in the house, you've got the right to say that. But if you're not, then if you're just cooking and doing workouts all the time, then I'm not so sure.
So then we had Dee shouting in Gary's face, wielding a knife at him. Did you notice that?
I did see it, but I wouldn't say she was, had murderous intent.
She was just like Victor on Fight Night. She was wielding a knife. And then James said to Gary, "Don't worry, the British public will work you out eventually." Have the British public worked Gary out eventually?
Seems so.
It worked out that he's wicked. And then Gary said, "Rectangled monkey hoops are alive." And Dee was just like, "What?" Problem with Dee...
I think he just already offended someone in the vicinity, and then he said that, which made them just think he's probably being abusive to us.
thing with Dee is she doesn't understand Gary. She doesn't understand nuances in a person. She doesn't understand someone being a bit surreal or anything other than just straight down the line. She doesn't understand it. That's why she likes Ricky so much, because he's such a bland, boring person. She can understand how he works. Do you see what I mean? Like, she's so thick. She can't understand anything outside of her circle of like 3 or 4 syllables that she knows. You know, unless it's like Ricky going, she don't get it. That's Dee's problem. And then Gary told Dee that James needed therapy. This was when he whispered to Dee, and then there was another big row up. Do you remember? And then it was like, did someone say Gary was bitter? I couldn't work out what had been said. It was just another one of those, what?
Yeah.
You interrupted me. Let me finish.
But I don't know how they feel in the house, but like at the start, like, you know what the reality is. Like, you know that someone did say this and this is right.
Yeah.
And then by the time that
you don't know.
It's normally in like the 15-minute section of the show, or whatever that you watch is all contained. By the end of it, you don't know.
What is up?
You don't know who said what or what's going on. And even if you did know, you wouldn't know if it was right or wrong
and you
anyway.
wouldn't care. And the thing is, Gary forgets what he said 2 seconds ago anyway, so it's all irrelevant. And then they're like, oh, watch the tape back, watch the tape. No one's ever going to watch those tapes back. Get over it. And then this was when Dee was wielding the knife. She said to Gary, learn some manners. Who do you think you are? You're no better than anyone else in here. I think you'll find he is. And then Ricky started getting involved, and that was when Lauren told him to shut up, basically. And that's when Ricky and Lauren went,
So Gary essentially brought about the demise of pretty much like a whole like slew of people.
Yay, wicked. Good. Well done, Gary. And then James said to Gary, we can't all be wrong. Is that true?
No, it's not true.
It's not true.
They can all be wrong.
It's mob mentality, don't you think? It is mob mentality. It is. It's ask Jet from Gladiators. It's a psychological fact. Mob mentality.
Do you know what though? I've got to say, I really missed Tornado.
Yeah, he added a lot to the house, didn't he?
He did. He did.
If there's another one, let me finish. Let someone finish. And then Gary said to Adele tonight,
is it rude to interrupt
someone?
hold
on, I haven't finished. And then, Gary said to Adele tonight, oh fuck, you're making me forget what he said. You're just waiting for your turn to speak. And that's what it is in there. They're just waiting for their turn to speak. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What are you looking at?
I'm not looking at anything.
You're just waiting for your turn to speak. They're waiting for this podcast to be over.
Yeah, and then you finish talking. Can you say like when?
All right.
I know.
What if I put my hand up in your face? Stop. Anyway. Don't tell me to shush. It's very rude. Now listen, Gary. Listen to the way I'm speaking to you.
I can't talk to you.
In this country, I don't know how it is in America, but in this country,
we're like hounds.
We talk to old people like this, and then we put them in a home. So then Dee goes to the diary and she's going, I need to talk to my dad. Why don't you fuck off and talk to your dad then, you old cunt? What do you think about that? Demanding to talk to her dad? It's like Spidey demanding for security, isn't it?
Do you think like 10 minutes later she was on the phone?
Do you think?
Don't know.
I do, because do you know what? That's when her attitude changed, and she come out and she's going, I'm so sorry, Gary, and she made him that cup of coffee.
Oh, you think her dad is on Team Gary?
Yeah. Her dad was like, you respect your elders on the phone to her or something. Don't you think that it's possible? Anything's possible. Meanwhile, Ricky said, I've been made to look bad by Lauren. Okay. And this is when Gary came outside and he wanted to sit in his chair. And they're like, no, you're not allowed to sit in your chair, because Dee was sat there. And then Gary just like stood nearby, like hovering around them. That's mean, isn't it? Not letting Gary sit in his own chair. Nasty. And then Gary goes, oh, look, it's a full moon. Enough said. So then Audley and Lauren were Team Gary. They were saying Gary has made adjustments in the house. And then Gary went in the diary room and said Dee is two-faced. He almost said she's a two-faced bitch, but he said she's a two-faced woman. And he said it's her way or the highway. And James said Gary is a Hollywood legend and a complete and utter arsehole. It's rude.
A bit.
Now, who do you think would be a good new host to Strictly?
It's hard to choose, really, isn't it? Not Michael Barrymore, though.
What? But I seen him on Jeremy Kyle recently crying.
Do you think having Barrymore present Strictly would be thinking outside the box?
Well, you said you thought James was going to say recommend himself.
Yeah, I did.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, bring back Barrymore. That is literally the 3 words on nobody's lips. Do you agree that with James that same-sex couples shouldn't be allowed to dance together, or is that an area you just don't even want to get into?
I mean, the thing is, you can get into it.
Right.
The thing is, I'm not being big-headed, but no. The thing is, right. I don't watch Strictly, and I don't want to start watching Strictly. So I'm sure there is some
clap.
Because you watch it, and next thing you know, it's like a bad David Lynch film. You're sat there clapping, like at the age of 80, and you just like collapse into the ground.
Fucking hell, Jesus! Is that what happens?
I think so.
Wow. Yeah, this was when Dee had her turnaround. So she went in the diary, and this is the next morning. She's like, well, slagging off Gary, and then suddenly she goes, oh, but he does pull on your heartstrings. I'm thinking, what the fuck? You were like shaking a knife at him, screaming 10 minutes ago. And then she made him that coffee. She's going, I'm sorry, Gary. I'm so sorry. And everyone was basically saying she got a warning, but they didn't show it, which is totally disingenuous. And then it looks like she's actually sorry, when really she's just been told off. What do you think?
Well, yeah, it does appear that way. But she's a horrible cunt. And even after that, she was sniping at him like about half an hour later.
Duh, exactly. No, James, she's a helper. She's a giver.
No, she's not.
She'll be the better person.
She's one of those people that forces tea and food on other people in order to, you know what I mean?
Control them.
Yeah, tea bully.
And then she starts going, oh, Gary, your stories are fascinating. You're a screen legend. And Gary said, yeah, I know. Then we had your favourite section. Letters from home.
I cannot ever get enough letters from home.
Who voted for Adele to get a letter from her? That was on the app. I voted for Gary.
You voted for Gary?
Who would vote for Adele?
People love that mum card. She's missing her children. How many children has she got?
I don't know.
Dee's got children.
Yeah, but she don't need to speak to them because Audley's are in LA, so that means he needs to speak to them more for some reason. I loved it when Gary wouldn't give her a letter. I just thought it was just sweet.
Do you think when they said, I forget who it was to, but to Audley, you had to choose between James and Ricky and Lauren.
Yeah.
Do you think Ricky and Lauren both just had like one letter between them?
Yeah, joint letter. From Ted. Towies Ted.
Read this out now.
Yeah, exactly. That was so cool when Gary just didn't give Dee a letter. It was just like, oh, it's because Audley's, family's further away. Okay. That's a good reason. Yeah, eat that, Dee. And then Dee had to read out Gary's letter, which was from his wife, which said, you're a bright light in a dim house. Stay true to yourself. You're the only one who's not said anything nasty, to which George rolled his little googly eyes. And she said, come back and play footsie, undercover footsie. Sounds nice, doesn't it?
Sounds lovely.
Bit of undercover footsie. Can't knock that. And then Gary said to Dee, you couldn't have read it better. God bless you. I thought that was nice. And then James got his letter. He was crying and trying to hide that he was crying. You were moved. And then George said, true love is beautiful. Oh. And then Dee said to James, your wife is one of the luckiest women in the world.
Yeah, but did you see why?
No.
Either before or afterwards, but very near that, they were talking about Strictly, and I think Dee's quite into Strictly.
Oh, yeah.
I get that impression, and that they talk about it quite a lot, so I think she worships him a bit.
Right, fair enough. And then, yeah, this is the bit you were on about. Dee went in the kitchen, she went, Gary's wife's full of shit. It's like, oh, go fuck yourself. Gary's wife said on Twitter that Dee was like the new Meatloaf, which I thought was quite funny. I like Gary's wife. And then we had the Lauren Ricky thing in the garden, and she said, I just want to be friends. And
yeah, that was after about like 3 hours of some other nonsense.
She said, some people in here haven't been real. And he was like, who are you talking about? She was talking about him, She was trying to wind him up. And then all the others took Ricky's side, and then he's in bed going, "Oh, she's just used me for a showman."
And James was like, "Oh, we've all tried to warn you over and over again."
What planet are these people on?
But I thought James and Towie got on, but it's
Stephanie he got on with.
No, he used to get on with Towie a bit as well, and he just threw her straight under the bus.
Duh. And Ricky went, "I've been wasting my time."
Oh.
Yeah, because if you talk to a girl, if you're polite to a girl, if you're nice to a girl, then of course she's obliged to have sex with you, you fucking pig-faced little cunt. Go fuck yourself. And then Lauren come in and climbed into bed with George. Which moves us on to tonight's show. Oh, a magical time, I'm sure you'll agree. Oh dear.
Yeah.
It's harder to read these notes because they're written. Oh, it was Bewitched having a go at Gary, do you remember? This is when Gary was trying to talk to James in the garden.
Oh, yeah.
And then Bewitched was like, got the real hump about it. And James went, "Yeah, fuck 'em," to Gary. And Gary went, they could go fuck themselves. And then Bewitched got the hump about it and started crying. It's like, what's up with her? She just desperate for some airtime or... Turn on the tears.
You said it was pre-eviction.
Yeah, pre-eviction. Tiny tears. And then Gary come in and said sorry to her, and she's going, "No, you've really upset me." And then George was going, "Oh, you're really rude to everyone." Oh, shut up! Just shut up, all of you bunch of cunts. And then George said to Gary, "I find you intolerable." They're all just pissing their game down the fucking toilet, basically.
Seems that way.
Idiots. Then, our favourite kind of eviction.
The double.
The animals go 2 by 2, hurrah, hurrah. Now, which two housemates would be best to evict together?
It's the dream team. The dream team is the twin Towies.
Yeah.
Of Lauren Goodger and Ricky, because they're both fucking... I've heard it a million times, but they're both just lost without cue cards. They've just got no idea like who they are, what they are, anything like.
No.
Lauren, her actressing, the whole season is just so ridiculous. Like the way she comes out with things. And that Ricky, I think, is probably one of the most cringe people, and I even include Callum in the same category.
He's one of the most boring housemates we've ever had. And Lauren, I actually liked, I didn't like her, but she actually did have like a warm, caring side to her. And even when she was making a twat of herself, at least she was actually doing something, unlike him, who did nothing except wear a ridiculous jacket on the last night and have a little handkerchief in his pocket.
Yeah, she did have the odd redeeming
and
feature.
She stuck it for Gary now and again.
Yeah.
And she did stick up for herself as well.
But she did talk some nonsense as well.
Do you know what? He was evicted before her. He got less votes than her, so fuck him. Yeah, she talked pure nonsense, but at least she seems human, unlike him. He's not human, he's just some hairspray. That's all he is. But anyway, at least we didn't have to sit through 2 of these fucking interviews, didn't it? At least it got out of the way.
Yeah, and they both essentially got the same clips, haven't they? So
it didn't seem too bad, them two coming out together. Not like, Janice and
it
Marion.
looked quite painful for them.
Did they get booed though much? Or
a fair bit.
She was getting booed, but he wasn't getting booed, and I don't get that, because he was the one in the wrong and she wasn't. Just typical slut-shaming Britain, and fucking Emma Willis is the worst of the lot. "Oh, so do you think you led him on, Lauren? By what? Being polite to him, not wanting to turn him down because a moody little cunt he might turn on her?" No, I don't think she led him on. She said she wanted to be friends pretty much day 1, and then she said it again day 30 or whatever. So no, she didn't lead him on, Emma, so shut up.
Day 30?
Whatever.
Did they have a day 30?
Oh, fuck knows. And then Ricky started laying into Audley at the start of his interview. Talk about unnecessary. Oh yeah, Audley's after screen time, he's always cooking. Yeah, because that really gets the screen time, doesn't it?
Oh yeah,
I love watching people cook on there.
But Dee was supposed to have a cookery show. I haven't seen her cook once. Maybe when she does cook, it's like a gross sandwich or mostly just tea.
I've seen her tell Gary off for touching that pizza. No, Gary. Shut up.
When they're doing that tickling earlier, Gary was going to tickle George's jaw. I was wondering who was going to admonish him.
Yeah, I know.
Go wash
your hands. Oh yeah, and then Ricky goes, "Oh, as soon as she walked in the door, I fell for her." Yeah, because your agent told you to. Anyway, don't worry about it because they're going to be friends for life.
Yeah. It all ended on a very positive note overall.
Oh, very, very. And that's what Emma said. Do you think you could have been clearer with him? I think she was perfectly clear with him. He just didn't listen. Anyway, Ricky was real from day one.
Oh, I kept going on and on
about him being real.
Thing.
Yeah, he's really real. And he didn't regret telling Gary that he was a bad role model to his young son.
I would put him in the top 5 all-time rubbish people on Big Brother ever, like least entertaining housemates.
Yeah, so would I.
I'd put him in there with Jack and Joe and...
Tweed.
Jack and Joe actually had a bit going for them compared to him.
Yeah, they had lower your tone, strengthen your argument, and are you being funny? Yeah. That's 2 things more than he had. So that was it. Ricky said about Gary, every day it's the same thing over and over. Yeah, just like you and Lauren. It is the same thing with Gary over and over. People admonishing him and him going, "What?" And that's it. So anyway.
That honk-based strategy works.
Honk. So that's it. So who's your pick to win?
Well...
Do you want to do the order or...
What people are saying is that...
No, who cares what people are saying? What are you saying?
Who do I want to win?
Yeah.
I want Gary to win. I don't really think I like the big players in there. Like I don't really have anyone that I like really apart from Gary. But out of the ones I can tolerate, I'd say Audley.
Yeah.
And that's I don't really like him that much.
I do.
James, just because I like the way he's playing the game, and I do lump him in with Audley just because they've had non-stop conflict the whole time. And it's hard to say. After
Who
that,
else is left? Adele, George, and Dee.
I mean, I hate Dee, you know that.
Oh,
Adele is annoying, but she's changed her game up in the last week or so, like in the last few days. But she's been like really badly wooden spooning around the house, like she's been going from group to group, mixing. She's been doing all sorts of...
She's not likeable. I don't care what anyone says. She's not a nice person.
So that means Dee
last.
Then Adele.
Then George.
Which puts George at number 4.
I would put George less likeable than Adele. I can't bear him.
But I'm not being funny, but why?
Not being big-headed, right? If George wins, fuck all y'all, because I got £10 on Gary. I put it on him before I even knew if it was vote to save or vote to evict. I put it on him the day after he fucking couldn't even get up them stairs. 10-1. He's 2-1 now, and I get £100 if he wins. So if you vote fucking George or even Audley, and I like Audley, if you vote anyone other than Gary, don't you ever listen to Big Brother Bile again. Let that be a warning to you.
Oh, I'm sure they won't.
No worries. I like Audley though. I like the way he is.
Yeah, he's alright. He's
chilled out.
He's got a lot of good things going for him.
I do think he hams it up sometimes with the Kellie thing as well. He hammed it up and he was a bit out of order there.
I give him the Journey Award because if you look at how people have changed in the time they've been in the house, he's probably the sharpest. Like, kind of like, he's almost the opposite of how he went in. Yeah. So that's the journey, and he hasn't actually used the word journey as well.
No, I think he's very patient with James. He sees things that other people don't see. He's older and a bit wiser, and let's face it, he's quite easy on the eye for an older man. I think he's all right. He is a bit boring, but he's a nice person. You got to have the odd nice person in there, otherwise you just get Helen and all that. So, that's it pretty much. What do you think? Legacy CBB or...
Considering how bad the main season was this year, I think it has been pretty good overall. But again, like in the... what do you call it? Rylan and Spidey year. It's just... we got 3 really strong characters and not much else going on. But that's alright. That works.
I really don't get why James is being booed so badly. I mean, I understand why James is being booed. And Dee is not being booed.
She was being booed.
She wasn't. Barely.
Yeah, she had
was
booed.
Getting loads of cheers. How can anyone still like her after the way she's behaved?
Gary was getting booed tonight.
Yeah, I heard him getting booed. Yeah, but he didn't, so it don't matter. But James will tell him about it. You were getting booed, Gary. Where I come from. Oh, shut up. Anyway, can you imagine this series without Gary in though? It would be like the McGiff year all over again.
Nah.
Do you know what I read today in my magazine? Oh, in my magazine, Courtney Studden has got back with her husband.
Oh,
the old dude. Yeah, she said she slept with 4 guys and now she's got it out of her system and now they're back together. Isn't that romantic?
It's very romantic.
That's pretty much it, I think. We will do a podcast after the final just to celebrate my winnings. And oh no, it's like when you put money on Dexter, it really fucked it now.
You shouldn't say it. You fucked it for yourself.
Right, delete the podcast. Let's start again. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Follow me on Twitter, LightUpVM,
and follow me, Big Brother Bile, and
chat to us on Twitter or leave us a review or something else. We'll do our Big Brother US podcast soon. I'm sure you're enjoying it as much as us. Not at all. We'll see you later on in the week.
Ta-ra.
Good night.